Hey everybody, welcome to Abundant Source Raw on YouTube, and in this video I want to talk about why most people can't trust their senses. And particularly in this video I'm going to be talking about when it comes to food choices, when we decide on what we want to eat, and why you can't really, most people can't trust their senses when they are making their decision on what foods to eat. You know, I hear so many people talking about, well, just go with what your body says. Go with what your senses are telling you. If your body is craving this, then obviously you need whatever's in that food. If your body's craving fat, salt, and protein, then obviously that's what your body needs. But I want to make the argument that these cravings that you're getting for these types of foods like fat, salt, and protein, you gotta kind of dig deep here and figure out why you're craving these things. What's making you crave these? You know, in a perfect world, I would say that everybody could trust their senses. Everybody should be eating what their body is telling them to eat. But the problem here is that we've fallen a little bit as humans, and as far as going with our senses and our natural way of living. And so now we've kind of dumbed down our senses, and we've grown with bad habits, and we've taken up bad food choices and the art of cooking, which has destroyed many of the nutrients and has perverted and completely mutated the food that we eat, and it's allowed us to eat unnatural foods that our body really is not designed for, and it's caused a lot of havoc in the body, a lot of havoc with the senses, and pretty much every person on the planet is eating this way, and they don't really know that it's wrong. And so, you know, I know a lot of people think that raw vegan or fruitarian really is not the best way to go, and they say, you know, I tried that and it didn't work for me, but then I went on this other diet, you know, maybe the starch solution, maybe the paleo diet, and they said, oh my goodness, I feel so much better on this diet, way better than when I tried the raw vegan diet. And really the truthful reason for that is that they didn't give the diet long enough. You got to realize that you've been putting your body through an entire lifetime of abuse with foods and bad habits. And you know, for me, it was 20 years of garbage that putting into my body, of, you know, bad posture with video games, and just a lot of depression and things like that. Just all this stuff that deteriorates the body. And now you think that you're just going to get on a raw vegan diet and heal all that up in a matter of weeks or months. Well, it's definitely not going to happen. It's going to take a very long time to detox everything, and the real reason that they didn't feel good on the raw vegan diet is because they were detoxing, and the reason they feel good on going to these other diets is they couldn't handle the detox they were getting, and now on these other diets it's slowing down the detox process, or maybe even detoxifying them even more. So they're kind of getting this sedation. The foods they're eating are slow, and they fog the brain, and they make you feel sedated, and it takes away the detox process because you are retoxifying your body, and your body's so focused now on protection from the toxins that are getting into your body. So people feel like crap in the beginning, of course, on a raw vegan diet because they're going through the detox process, and it's tough. I know how tough it is, and you get cravings like crazy. You've had a lifetime of bad habits of eating junk and things that your body's not meant to eat. Your body's built up a tolerance. It's built up a craving. You have bad unbeneficial bacteria in your body that are now, a lot of it's taking over your body for the most part if you're eating these bad foods. And I mean, these guys crave like crazy. You got to starve them out, and it takes a lot of willpower, and it takes you just got to recreate a good habit of eating clean, and it's very tough to cultivate that habit because in the beginning you have such horrible cravings for things, and then you it's like an alcoholic, you know, an alcoholic who's been drinking for most of their life. They know if they get sober, if they've been sober for a year, 2 years, 10 years, that if they have one drink of alcohol, they're probably going to go back to their old habit. And it's the same with cooked food, and that's why it's so tough in the beginning, is because you take, you know, one bite of cooked food and now you're addicted again, and the bad bacteria builds up and it builds more of a craving. And you really just have to be super tough in the beginning and starve out the bacteria. You've got to go through the detox process, and it's a mess in the beginning, you know, it's very tough. But once you get past the detoxing, the hard detoxing, and your body starts to get cleaner and feel better, there's no comparison to any other diet. And so in the beginning, with most people, I would say no, you can't trust your senses, because your senses have been basically mutilated and suppressed, and they're not functioning properly because of the way you eat, the habits that you have. And so if you're craving fat and salt and whatever else, that is habit, and it's not really what your body wants, it's what the bacteria for the most part in your body wants. It's what the reptilian part of your brain wants. It's addictive. It releases, you know, different chemicals that are super addictive, and it's just like a hit of stimulation. And the detox process is so hard for so many people. I mean, they don't want to feel the detox process. It's very tough, and so they'd rather feel sedated. They'd rather feel, you know, not as high as someone on a natural food diet. They'd rather just feel sedated and not have to deal with the detox, and they think that they feel great on these diets because they don't have to deal with the detox process, and, you know, maybe they're decent diets, okay, they can sustain them better than maybe the standard American diet, but they'll never know what it feels like to actually have a super clean, energetic body, to be super connected with everything. And, you know, John Rose always talks about biophotons and how we've lost our sixth sense. That's the other thing, is that you're completely, well, not completely, but for the most part, you're missing a large sense of your sixth sense, which is the connectedness we feel, which scientifically they've shown is brought on by biophotons, meaning light, and it's basically just every living organism is made up of pretty much pure light, energy, vibrations, and it's actually a light that is visible on certain like cameras and things like that. You can actually see this light emanating off of people, and you know, these biophotons are being destroyed by what we're eating, the dead foods that we're eating. Cooking absolutely destroys biophotons. We have to have the living, raw foods that we're designed for to get those biophotons and get that sixth sense of connectivity back to where we feel connected with all other living things. It's how cells communicate. And when you've got a strong biophoton level and you feel that connection, you really don't want to eat any other way. You know, the biggest benefit of eating a raw vegan diet and a fruitarian diet, really, for me, and I think for most people, is not the physical aspect. It's not that we're getting super fit and we have a high amount of energy, and you know, our bodies are you know, built a lot stronger than that of somebody eating a different diet, like the standard American diet. But it's more of the mental clarity, the spiritual clarity that we get, the feeling of connectedness that you get on this diet that no other diet can bring you, the amount of pleasure and happiness that this diet has, the way it changes your mindset, and the way it changes the way you see everything. It's incredible, and I don't think any other diet can bring you that level of clarity, and also no other diet can even touch the physical aspect that the fruitarian diet brings as well. So, I mean, it's just on all levels, it's the best diet, but you got to get through the detox process, and you got to understand that you can't really trust your senses at first, because it's ruled by habit and cravings that really should not be happening. And, you know, it's not just with diet either. It's the same with the people being addicted to their thoughts, or being afraid of certain things. I mean, the ultimate test to see if you're addicted to something is just to sit still, do nothing, meditate, be alone, and do nothing and then see what happens. And you know, I'm sure thoughts will start coming up. It's going to be hard for you to sit still. It's you're going to be maybe afraid to be alone, and you just got to ask, you know, why is this happening? What's causing this? When you get a craving for fat and salt and whatever else, you don't want to go to, oh, I must need it. If my body's craving it, I must need it. You got to ask, why is this happening? If you're thinking to yourself, you know, I really shouldn't eat this salt, I really shouldn't eat this fat, but you're giving in anyways, and your brain will give you every single reason to eat that food. You're going to be fighting yourself a lot through the detox process, and it's the hardest part of the diet. It really can suck at times, but you really got to fight through it and realize that your body is just craving these things because it's what it's used to and what it's built up a tolerance for and what you're addicted to. And the real test really would just be to fast for 20, 30, 40 days and then see what your body wants. Your mind will be so clear, you'll be so connected, your physical body will be so much healthier and cleansed out that you know, you really will be able to trust your senses a whole lot more. And you know, fasting is just the ultimate healing modality, in my opinion. You know, when your body has gotten used to nothing and being just by itself, working on itself, and had time to rebalance and not have food and different things forced down it, then it really gets a sense of what it actually needs and what you really want. And you can definitely test this, because when you're clean, if you're eating a fruitarian diet and you eat any fat, you're gonna feel bad. If you eat any salt, you're gonna feel dehydrated and like crap. If you eat too much protein, I mean, it's just, you're gonna feel sluggish. And that's the real thing, is if you're eating the starch solution, you're eating the paleo diet, I mean, test this out. Don't be, you know, ignorant. Don't just call this a bad diet without even trying it for a few months and seeing, because I already know, and all other fruitarians know, that if we were to go to a starch solution, we'd feel like crap. If we were to go to a paleo diet, we'd feel like crap. So before you make an argument against the diet, you know, try it for at least 4 to 6 months, go through the detox process, and then go back to how you were eating, how you think is the better diet, and see what happens. I can pretty much guarantee you'll be convinced that fruitarian diet is the best on the planet, and you feel so much better physically, spiritually, mentally. It's just all around the best, and it's the most pleasurable. And you know, it's really what we're designed for. It should be obvious that humans are frugivores. I mean, we're great apes, or like we're anthropoids just like all the other great apes, and they're all frugivores. I don't know what makes people think we're designed to eat meat. Yeah, just go with your species-specific diet and see how it feels. You're gonna have to block out some of your cravings at first. Either fast, go on a juice feast, or just eat all fruits and maybe a salad in the evening. Do that for at least 30 to 60 days, maybe longer depending on how toxified you are. But try it out, and then try eating something else and see how you feel. And you'll find that you'll probably feel pretty crappy afterwards. So thank you guys for watching. That's the end of this video. And if you guys liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll talk with you guys in the next video. Thank you.